with this long overdue video from when I went to Thailand. I went to Thailand in December solo by myself. There was originally supposed to be like 4 or 5 other people going with me, but for whatever reason they ended up dropping. The trip was already on my mind, my vacation was already set, so I just decided to go to Thailand by myself. So it is what it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some tips on traveling through Thailand solo or by yourself or whatever the case may be. And I'm also going to insert some footage along the way so you can kind of see like little snippets of my vacation and how everything went. I only went to one part of Thailand. I only went to Phuket. I was there for 9 days. I took China Southern. The flight was $400 round trip, well, $386 round trip out of LAX, which was a steal. On the way back, it also included a stay in Guangzhou, China, and they let you pick your hotel room for free transportation to and from your hotel. I think I had like, I don't know, like 16 hours in Guangzhou, so all of that was also included in the price of my ticket. So I thought that that was like a really, really good price. So just FYI, if you're looking to go cheap airline, I thought the food was pretty good. I thought the service was pretty good. I had no problems. It was the Airbus A380, which is one of the biggest, most beautiful planes you can fly on. So that's that. Let's get into some tips. Oh, I recommend pre-booking your transportation. So I pre-booked my transportation through an app called Viator. I booked it there and back at the same time. It was very affordable. Most of the flights coming from the US to Phuket, from what I saw when I was booking, they all landed like in the middle of the night. And so since I was by myself, I just decided to go ahead and pre-book my transportation. That way I wasn't trying to haggle with somebody in a foreign country 9,000 miles away from Chicago trying to get a ride to my hotel. So it was very cheap through Viator. It was like 20 bucks round trip, and the guy was like standing outside holding my name on the sign, and I was like, she made it. So yeah, pre-book your transportation. Okay guys, the fish pedicure. When you go to Thailand, you're gonna see these fish pedicure salons literally everywhere. I do not recommend doing that, as appealing as it may be to have your feet be nice and soft, and plus it's really, really cheap. I wouldn't recommend doing it only because there's no way for them to clean the bowl in between customers. So I was standing there watching, and I saw a lady sitting there with her feet in the bowl, and the fish are like eating off the dead skin. And then literally she was done after her 15 minutes, and here comes this sweaty man that just stuck his feet in the same bowl. So if that doesn't gross you out or whatever, yeah, go for it, do your fish pedicure. But yeah, I thought it was pretty gross, so I would say skip that. This is just a tip in general if you're traveling solo. I recommend like registering yourself with the embassy, taking a picture of your passport, sending it to a couple different places. One of which may be your email, one of which your parents or best friend. And I also recommend printing it out and actually having a physical copy of your passport with you, just in case something happens and you lose it or whatever the case may be. As far as currency goes, the US dollar goes very, very far. So outside of, okay, so I booked my hotel through hotels.com. It's $40 a night. I booked my flight directly through ChinaSouthern.com, through their website. Once I got to Thailand, I took out $300 US. Guys, I had over $100 to spare on the way back. That's how far your money goes in Thailand. But I do recommend taking your money out at the ATM when you get to the airport. I found that that was the easiest, and it had the best exchange rate. There are places literally everywhere where you can exchange money. I just found the airport to be the safest and had the best rate. So, but that's up to you. But you can also order from your bank from whatever city you're from. So that's, of course, that's always an option too. So, Bangla Road. If you stay in Phuket and you're anywhere near Patong Beach, you're gonna end up on Bangla Road. I was there by myself, solo. I felt pretty safe for the most part, but I also did wrap up my night at about midnight or 1 a.m. ish. I did hear that Bangla Road can get a little bit sketchy into the wee hours of the night, which is when a lot of people like to party. Like they're on vacation, they want to stay up and out later. I would recommend, especially if you're solo, not going out there after 1 or 2 a.m. So just FYI, is what I've heard. I didn't have any problems, so there you have it. If you're by yourself, I would do the guided tours. There is so much to do, like so much to do. The guided tours provided me with a way to see a lot of Phuket, as well as connect with other people, as well as be accounted for while I'm so far away from home and by myself. It also gave me the opportunity to really talk to the tour guides. Plus, a lot of the excursions on the guided tour, they included transportation to and from the hotel, and some of them even included like breakfast and lunch, and I thought that that was a really good deal, a really good perk. So do those guided tours that they offer, and trust me, they're everywhere. The thing about Thailand is everything is negotiable. Even the excursions that I went on, the brochures had them for one price, and my hotel was able to negotiate them for an even lower price. I saved like 30 to 50% off every single excursion that I went on, every single last one. If you go solo, I highly recommend you stay in a hotel. I felt a lot safer being in a hotel. A lot of the hotels in Thailand are on a smaller scale. Plus, the hotels in Thailand are very affordable. I paid 40 bucks a night. I stayed at the Patong Mansion Hotel, and I liked it because it had a rooftop infinity pool. And that was all different hotels, different price ranges. So when you're doing your research, look at those reviews, see if the beds are soft or if there are complaints about that, because I know that was an issue for me. I ended up piling up some pillows and sleeping on top of the pillows, and that made it better. But yeah, be conscious of that. Hard beds. Okay, if you're big on snorkeling, like I'm really big on snorkeling, I would highly recommend you bring your own snorkel gear. When I tell you, they try to charge you literally for every little thing in Thailand that you don't necessarily need. Just bring your own snorkel gear. It's on Amazon for super duper cheap. I have like the full face mask and that whole thing. They're also gonna, everybody tried to sell us on these, the fins, saying that they have some sea creatures that you could step on, and some of them are poisonous and they hurt, and that could be true, but I think they just kind of use that as a selling point. So if you're big on snorkeling, bring your own snorkel gear. That's what I recommend. So on each of my vacations, I do like to do something a little daredevil-ish. So I saw that Thailand had parasailing. So I wanted to do parasailing, and I actually booked an excursion that had parasailing as one of the 3 activities for the night. It also one of the 3 activities for the day. It also included some island hopping and some snorkeling and things of that nature. However, what I found out is that if you go directly to Patong Beach, they have parasailing, and you can get your parasailing for dirt cheap. You just go to the beach and you negotiate with them, and literally they're taking somebody out on the parasail like every 10 minutes. So they have so many people doing it that they're willing to negotiate with you. I wish I had known that, but I didn't. So that's why I'm giving you guys the information so you'll know. It was so much fun though. It was a blast. You'll see in a second they actually dunk me into the water. I wasn't expecting that, but it was fun. So kingdom, feeding the elephants, elephant trekking, so forth and so on. I did all of that. So Tiger Kingdom was by far one of the most amazing things I've ever done. Yes, I was scared. It was so bad that y'all, I couldn't even get a lot of the footage up because my hand was shaking so bad because I was scared. But I mean, once you're in there with the tigers, they're so calm and so peaceful, and they're literally like chilling. So they're so used to being around people. It was amazing. I highly recommend you do Tiger Kingdom. It was about 20 or 25 US dollars, so not bad at all. I got a decent amount of time in there with the tigers, and got to ask a bunch of questions and watch them. It was, oh my god, it was amazing. The next thing is the elephant trekking. So when I went to Thailand, the excursion that I originally picked, which was an opportunity to bathe the elephants and, you know, feed them and things of that nature, they actually didn't offer it the day that I was there because of low attendance. So I had to go with an alternate plan, and the alternate plan was to do this other excursion which allowed you to like feed the baby elephants and do the elephant trekking, which is when you ride on top of the elephant. So once I got there and I saw everybody else riding on the elephant, like, it felt weird. And the baby elephants, you know, they just kind of look sad. There was a moment where you could pay in baht and get like a bunch of bananas and feed the baby elephants. I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna finish doing this elephant trekking because I just feel awkward. So I bought a bunch of bananas and I was feeding the elephant. And so I wanted to like make it last, right? So I'm feeding this baby elephant, and you can see like he just perks up and he's all like happy now. He's like a big baby. It's the cutest thing. I wish I had footage. And guys, do you know I put the bunch of bananas like behind my back so he wouldn't see. He reached his trunk around me and like grabbed the bunch of bananas. It was the funniest thing ever. These elephants are so smart. So I say all that to say, if you do want to interact with the elephants, which is really, really big in Thailand, I highly recommend you do the elephant sanctuary, where you can actually interact with the elephants in a safe way, so that they aren't being harmed, and you know that your money goes back into their well-being. So that's that about the elephant trekking. So I know a big draw about Phuket is Phi Phi Islands. Phi Phi Islands were absolutely gorgeous. I do think it's a day trip. I don't recommend staying there overnight. I definitely think if you get out there super early in the morning, you know, you can definitely see all of Phi Phi Islands with no problem. It is more expensive to buy things on Phi Phi Island just because of the draw. It's extremely touristy because that's what everybody wants to do. But it's really not that big of an island. Like, it's not that big at all. So, and literally all the food, the massages, the souvenirs, the same stuff that you found on some of the other islands that were like dirt cheap, they were a little bit more expensive on Phi Phi Islands. I mean, it was still cheap by most standards, but you will pay a little bit more. So Cat Thai cooking was amazing. I love to cook, and one of my favorite cuisines is Thai food, and that had to be the most expensive thing that I did the entire time. I think the class, we cooked 3 courses and you got to take all the food home. I think it was 50 or 55 bucks. I'll like post a link to Cat Thai cooking class below. It was fun. They also included transportation from my hotel and back and forth. So I would recommend doing the cooking class. It was a lot of fun. They send you all the recipes. They tell you where you can get the supplies. So I had a really good time. This is also where I ended up meeting up with another solo traveler that used to live in Chicago. She doesn't live in Chicago anymore. We met up and we did a cooking class together. So I spent most of my time in Thailand solo, but at least like, you know, for 1 or 2 days I had somebody with me. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So guys, this concludes my video on some solo tips and travel tips about Thailand. If you have any additional questions, feel free to send me a message or email me. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's at Love Nikki Lee on Instagram. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.